In January 2021, I was diagnosed with stage 3 bowel cancer. My symptoms started around July 2020. I'll always remember because it was around my son's first birthday. I was experiencing blood when I was going to the toilet, but I didn't put that down to anything serious. I know, a lot of people can have blood when they go to the toilet, and I didn't think anything at that time. I just thought, it's normal, I've strained too much. I remember having the conversation with my dad, and he just said to me, maybe you need to eat more fruit, or are you straining too much? And what he said to me was, if it carries on, just give it a couple of weeks and go and see your doctor. And I said, right, okay, I'll do that. It got to September and I went on holiday with my partner and my son, and I was noticing that I was going to the toilet more frequently than what I would usually. And I knew then something definitely isn't right with me and my body. It was even when I was eating and then going to the toilet near enough straight afterwards. And I'll always remember my partner saying to me, oh my goodness, Emma, you're going again. And I said, yeah. I said, I've got to. Come back off holiday, and my partner said, right, you're making a phone call at the GP. And I said, I think I need to. I said, something isn't right. So I made a phone call at the GP, and I was telling them obviously the symptoms I was having: blood in my stool, blood when I was having wind. Now that's definitely not normal for me. I lost my appetite. I lost weight, but I put that down to going back to work after being on maternity leave and running around after a little toddler. I then went down to see my doctor, and she examined me as they usually do. And she said to me, Emma, you've got piles. So I thought, oh, right, okay, great. A massive sigh of relief, because I thought, well, it's nothing serious. I've got piles, I can handle that. So she sent me on my way, and I had the cream for 2 weeks. I had to try it out. 2 weeks went, and then phoned the doctors again, and I said, the cream hasn't worked. I'm still bleeding. I'm still not eating very much. I am losing weight. I'm having dizzy spells when I'm at work. So she said, okay, I'll get you booked back in. So I went again to the doctors, but by this time I saw a completely different doctor. She examined me and she told me I had an anal fissure. She said, yeah, I'll give you some cream. You go home, you try this for 2 weeks. If still no good, you come back to me. So by this time, it was like the middle of October, end of October. Rang the doctors again. I said, it's still not working. I'm still bleeding, still lack of appetite. And by this time I was losing even more weight. And then all I remember is I went on a lactose-free diet because I thought maybe I had colitis or irritable bowels. I thought, well, I'll cut out a load of food that I usually eat and see if it makes a difference. So I tried a lactose-free diet for a month. This took us into end of November, and nothing. It was still the same. So from July really the symptoms to November, that's still quite a long time with the symptoms that I was having. I then remember being Christmas shopping with my partner, and I remember getting a phone call from my doctor, and she rang me and said, Emma, are you still having blood in your stools? And I said, yes. I said, I've been having blood in my stools since the first time I saw you. My then doctor said, okay, I need to refer you now for a colonoscopy. And that's what she did. So enjoyed Christmas. Didn't eat much because I couldn't. I was just constantly full all the time. It came to January. My colonoscopy was booked for the 14th of January. So I went for my colonoscopy, obviously on my own because it was COVID. And I remember getting gowned up, being on the bed and getting wheeled into theatre. And I just remember looking at the screen and just seeing this horrible thing staring back at me. But instantly, cancer didn't go through my head. I thought, maybe it's colitis or inflamed. I've got an inflammation of the bowel. So I'm guessing all sorts, and they're saying to me, Emma, don't worry, we'll talk to you after. We're just going to take some biopsies. So they took 20 biopsies, finished what they needed to do, took me outside in the waiting room to obviously the ward that I was on, and they asked me if my partner was here, and I said, well, no. I said, my partner is at home. And they said, would you be able to call him to come here? And all I can remember in my head was, this isn't good news. So I'm trying to stay calm. I remember phoning my partner and I said, look, you need to come. They want to talk to you as well. My partner come in with my 1-year-old, and we sat down, and the surgeon said to me, we've found a malignant tumour in your rectum, and my whole world come crashing down. My first instinct was, I'm going to die. I'm not going to see my son grow up. I'm not going to get married. I'm just not going to be here. You read about it in the papers. You read about people going for a cancer diagnosis, but you always say to yourself, God, I hope that never happens to me. I was one of those people. I couldn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I really couldn't at that time. On that night, I was absolutely petrified. I was told that, You know, it was a malignant tumour. I didn't know how far it had gone, how far it had spread. I had to just wait for MRI testing, CT scans to find out how deep and if the cancer had spread to other organs in my body. I then got home and my mother-in-law and my father-in-law was waiting for me, and my dad came from work. And I just remember cuddling them all and just breaking down, you know, told them it's cancer. On the 27th of January, I went in and had a conversation with my consultant and the colorectal nurse. I went in and had my meeting, told me what stage my cancer was at. So my cancer was at stage 3. It was T4N3MO. It had gone to surrounding lymph nodes and it hadn't spread anywhere else. But because my cancer was in my rectum and how far it had gone through my rectum wall, I was told I would need a permanent colostomy bag, which obviously now I'm living with. At the time, it was very, very, very daunting. I think anybody in my position or who has been in my position would be scared and would be worried, because with having a colostomy bag, you automatically think your life and your body changes. You're not going to feel great about yourself anymore. And that was exactly what I thought. I thought, oh my God, my partner's not going to find me sexy anymore. I'm just going to look completely different. If I wear certain things, it's going to show. But me being me now and where I'm at now, saying those words was silly, because I can still do what I want. I can still wear what I want. And my partner doesn't think any less of me. So the treatment I would need was chemo, radiotherapy. So I needed to take 10 tablets a day, chemo tablets. So that's 5 in the morning, 5 at night, and radiotherapy sessions Monday to Friday for 5 weeks. And I started in February. Now, chemo and radiotherapy was quite intense, having to take tablets every morning, 5 of, and I struggle with one. But taking 5 was very difficult. Radiotherapy sessions, the first week I didn't find too hard. As the weeks went on, I was finding it extremely hard. I was very, very tired. And then as the weeks got further along, I was getting very sore. So that was for 5 weeks. Quite tough. I mean, I look back now and I think, how on earth did I get through it? But when you're given a diagnosis like this and you just want to do anything in your willpower just to get rid of it, to make sure you're going to be okay, because your family needs you. So it got to the 26th of March and I finally got to ring that bell, which I was absolutely over the moon with. Not only because I thought, oh, treatment's finished, but the pain will stop. You know, I won't have to get up in the morning and think, oh God, no, I've got more radiotherapy sessions to do, because it was really tough towards the end, mentally and physically. I had some really dark days. I had days where I just couldn't get out of bed. I was just mentally and physically broken. In May, I had a meeting with my consultant/surgeon, but before that time I had an MRI and CT scan to see if my treatment had worked. Thankfully, I had brilliant news that my treatment had completely killed the cancer in my rectum, but it had left me with quite a lot of scarring. And my surgeon said to me, the best surgery for you still is to have the complete APR surgery, and that is to obviously get rid of my rectum and create a Barbie butt, which is what people call it now. So obviously I've not got a bum like any other person. I'm part of the Barbie butt community now. So obviously my bum has been sewn up and I have a permanent stoma, which I'm very proud of. I wouldn't be without it now. I'm pain free. I haven't got to worry anymore. If I needed to go to the toilet before I go out, I haven't got to worry about that anymore. So it's quite convenient for me now, actually. So yeah, I had the news that obviously it was great news. The cancer had gone and surgery was going to happen on the 16th of June. Yes, I'm over the moon that the cancer had gone, but I'm also now scared because I've got to have surgery, and it was 4 to 5 hour surgery. I think I was down in theatre for 5 hours in total. Now, I've never been put to sleep before, and that was one of my massive fears, of being put to sleep. Knowing that I've got a little boy waiting for me at home and my partner and obviously my family, I had that fear of not waking up. So the 16th of June came, I had my surgery where I had the cancer removed and my little stoma created with my colostomy bag. It's quite strange actually how much an operation can knock you off your feet. I mean, I was off my feet for 2.5 days, but they get you up and about moving in hospital pretty quickly. So yeah, surgery went well. I'm recovering really, really well. I still have really up and down days, mentally and physically. I still get really tired. The thing that worries me is if the cancer comes back. And now, since obviously I've had my surgery and my treatment's finished, I've also been diagnosed with Lynch syndrome, which my mum, I think, had. My mum sadly passed away 5 years ago, so we'll never know if my mum did have it or not. But bowel cancer does run in my family. My granddad had bowel cancer and my uncle is living with bowel cancer. And he's receiving treatment for it. But he also has Lynch syndrome. It also means for me that I'll just be kept an eye on yearly or 2 yearly, which is great. So I'll have scans every year and a colonoscopy every year, which is absolutely great. It does put my mind at ease a bit, but that worry of getting cancer or it coming back is always going to be in the back of my mind. My advice to anybody that is suffering or going through a similar thing like me is just be kind to yourself. Don't keep anything to yourself. Speak to your family, speak to your friends, because I had a week where I was bottling everything and it was just getting too much, and I literally just stood there and screamed, and I thought, I can't do this. I can't do it anymore. I can't cope with this, cancer diagnosis. I've got a little boy, I've got a fiance. I need to live my life. I need to enjoy my life. It's just about being open and honest and expressing your feelings to your loved ones. Because the best thing that I ever did was create an Instagram account. It's been absolutely amazing. I have met so many amazing people that have gone through the same experience as me. Because when you get diagnosed with cancer, you think you are the only one in the world that's got it. You're not. There is so many more people out there, and I'm not saying that's a good thing, because it's not. Nobody should experience cancer. Cancer is horrible, but there is so many people out there that are going through the same journey as you. They can help you more than anyone because they have experienced it firsthand. And the next thing I need to say is, if you are worried about anything, whether that's with your boobs, whether that's with your man bit, with your poo, break the stigma around poo. I know it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to get your bum out in front of the doctors, but this will save your life, honestly. My doctor's words to me were, Emma, you are too young for cancer. Now, I don't know why a doctor would say that to anybody, but no one is ever too young for cancer. We need to get this sorted, and I will never, ever, ever stop raising awareness for people with bowel cancer, because this is something that we need to do, and especially in the young like me. Go and see your doctors, speak to family, get their advice, and just do what you need to do to make sure that you're okay. Because if I didn't continue going to the doctors, I don't know what position I would be in now. And all that's left really for me to say is check your poo and don't shy away from it.